Welcome. So this is going to be a quick video or demonstration of our application that we have thrown together. But maybe I'm going to start in the beginning. Um, so in the beginning, obviously, deployment and our setup is very important. So the way we're doing it, we're running our source code on GitHub. And for the deployment, we're using Ansible. The reason why we're using Ansible is really because I've worked with Ansible in Primerica and with Red Hat for a while, and it's a great automation tool, and we use it for our deployment. I'm hosting a small website, just ansible.floremos.eu, to sort of like have a quick walkthrough of what we're doing and how we're doing it. It's just like the installation setup, how we're connecting it with our development server. I'm defining sort of like the playbook. Playbook is really just a glorified script in terms of what we're doing. You can see that we're just installing Apache, PHP, Git, MySQL server on our cloud instance. We're making sure that Apache is started. We're giving it the right permissions, 755. With the right ownership. We're getting the repository here, copying over the configuration file for the Apache web server, disable the default website, enable our normal website, and restart the Apache server. We have a couple of variables here that we're using. There's just the configuration file is just here. That's sort of like the directory structure, and this is sort of like how I'm describing how we're running updates on our server. So we're essentially running a git pull command remotely, which I can demonstrate now as well. And it's really just like a quick overview. So the way we're running it is the following. Essentially, we're in Ansible on our terminal, and we can just run Ansible playbook update. And this will essentially go ahead and run then the playbook which we have defined on our remote instance. And you can see here it's gathering the task, connecting it via SSH, running our git pull for target repo, and everything has worked. And obviously our engines or our servers running in Google Cloud, where we have our external IP address, and we have our SQL server running in the cloud as well. If I can find it now. There's too many things going on. Data store, SQL, there we go. There we have our SQL server running in the cloud. It's just running MySQL 5.7. I have a public IP address as well, and we're using currently 1 gigabyte. And we have it running in high availability, which means it's taking backups automatically. So this is sort of like the setup that we're using. And then we have it obviously connected via my Fastmail account. We have it connected to our DNS, or my personal DNS, which is just here. Edit. There we go. So we have ansible.floremos.eu and cinema.floremos.eu, and that's obviously the IP addresses that I have just shown. And that's for our setup. And then we have our GitHub repository, which is here. And you can see the Ansible source code is in here as well, and the rest of the source code is here. And I have written a small README file as well in terms of the installation, because some people had problems, and how we're running Git, all of our Git commands, and how they work together with branches. And I have also a small description of running how to run the Ansible if somebody wants to do it themselves. Yeah, you can see we have 176 commits. We can just go in and we probably see that I did a good bit today. But yeah, then yesterday in our meeting on Sunday, Ima and Chris had some commits as well. And generally this is how our project structure looks like. We have 8 branches. Evan has his own branch, Chris, Ima, and me, of course, and we have them called 1 and 2 simply because we didn't want to overcomplicate it, and 1 is really the first 5 weeks and 2 is the last 5 weeks, and that's really the only reason we have structured it that way. Yeah, let's dive into our actual application. you can see not much has changed. So in our navbar, when you hover over it, it's highlighting it now. That's one small thing. We've gotten rid of the admin in here because the user should not really know about it and it doesn't really concern the user, I guess. And we just put it down here. And then, yeah, we move the logo to the left because the spacing looked a little bit weird because we have an uneven number of items, 5, and with the logo in the middle, it was either 3 on the left or 3 on the right, and it always looked a little bit out of place. That's why the logo moved over here. Again, this is just all loaded from a PHP database, of course. And when we go into book tickets, there's, by the way, of course, our social media icons because you need them nowadays. But yeah, if you go into current screenings, it's loading the day. So obviously today is Tuesday. I can show that here. Tuesday is today. And there's the movies that are available. You can click into your trailer. It will load the trailer automatically. You can see Jojo Rabbit is what I clicked at. I can close that. I can click into Bad Boys. It will just load the Bad Boys trailer then. I can close that. A little bit of description of the movies is here. That's obviously nice CSS work here from that we've done. Let's click into the movie, 9 o'clock. We can see that we can adjust the prices, and it will adjust dynamically the prices down here as well when we change it. So for example, the discounted is €5 a piece, and we can see that it's $7.50 for the... Oh no, it's €5 today for the standard as well because today is Tuesday. Tuesday we have the cheaper pricing. So yeah. And yeah, you can see we can't go over 5 a piece. This is what we have set in the admin panel. That can be adjusted obviously by the admin later on because Paul had requested that should be adjustable. That's why we made it adjustable. And you can see it can't go below 1. It can never go below 1. We can have a discounted and 1 and a 0 for standard, but it doesn't make sense to have obviously 0 tickets. That's why you can't go below. So let's go just ahead and purchase 2 tickets. We have our PayPal connection here. We're running a sandbox connection for our PayPal account, and you can see we have just given the .person@example.com email address from PayPal. It's going to redirect us automatically, and you can see that here we have our checkout page now upcoming. PayPal is always a little bit slow. So it's $10 that we're doing, pay in euro. John Doe, that is given by PayPal, obviously, that we can't really change because that's a sandbox account. So yeah, we've done our payment, and after the payment we're being redirected and we get a booking successful notification. Please check your email for confirmation. So let's go into our email account, and we can see we got a booking ID with 4YM1 for Tuesday, 9 o'clock, screen 9, Jojo Rabbit, with all the information that we put in. And just to verify that everything is stored correctly, we can go into the bookings, update our booking table, and we can see 4YM1 is the latest booking, 2 tickets made by the person.example email account from the sandbox. And this is really what is the information that is relevant for the screenings itself. We create a sales report as well, which we can update. So we just bought 2 tickets here, Tuesday and Jojo Rabbit. And this doesn't store the foreign keys because we want that data to be persistent. So even though we remove a movie, we want this data to be still persistent in our database. This is why we're not storing foreign keys, but the data itself. And the sales report has nothing to do with the bookings, really. The sales report is just there basically for evaluation purposes later on for the cinema. Okay, and the screening ID is obviously here when the foreign key, and the screening will have all the information regarding when the screening, like time, day, and so forth. We can maybe show that just here on the side. Screening, yep. So there you have your movie ID, screen ID, slot ID, and so forth, all the relevant information. All right, so yeah, we got this notification, that's all good. We go into the coming soon, and you will see there's no coming soon because I want to demonstrate that how that works with adding later on. All right, so we have the prices. The prices, obviously nothing has changed. They are pulled dynamically from our database. I think Helen is the only one that hasn't seen that so far, but there's really nothing new. We're just creating a couple of tables with a selection of prices and items. We have our contact. We can demonstrate that. I think we've done that before, but you know, we might as well demonstrate this now. FlorianMoss.eu. It's about a feedback. Hello, I have some feedback. You go ahead, you send it, and it redirects you obviously then to the home page like it should. And we will see that I get an email. Hi, I'm Florian, my email address is so for feedback. I have some feedback, exactly what we expect. Alrighty, let's go into the more interesting part then, the login. So this is now the admin panel. We have obviously done the major redesign. I think Helen hasn't seen it so far, but Paul and Evelyn certainly have. We have a management for movies, screenings, screens, prices and food, admins, others, and we have 2 reports for ticket sales and admin login. So let's start maybe with a movie. Here's obviously all the available movies. Now there's an update button where you can go in, see all the information preloaded, and you can just go ahead and update it. And obviously everything so far is an active screening because, as you remember, we didn't have any upcoming movies. So yeah, just let's add an upcoming movie. So there's a new James Bond movie coming. So James Bond, No Time to Die. And the movie is 2 hours, 43 minutes. So this is 2 hours, 43 minutes. It's an action movie. It's age 12. The director is Kara Fukunaga. We can have a description. We just take the description from here. Yeah, it's nicely provided, obviously. Don't need to do anything. We select our picture. This is obviously our local computer where we're selecting the picture. Then the trailer. So for the trailer, we just simply go into YouTube. It has the hash code up here. It's usually 10 digits. We just mark it. So I might as well close that one. Go in here, paste in our trailer ID, and it should be coming soon. We add that, and we're being redirected. You see the success message, success added movie. And now we can go ahead into cinema.florianmoos.eu, and we can go into upcoming, and you will see that the movie is showing up here, obviously without the booking thing. And we go into the trailer, and we can see the trailer is loading appropriately as expected. So this is how we have added a movie for the coming soon. So let's go into screenings. So the screenings are sorted by day. You can see we're in Tuesday. So this is all the Tuesdays that are showing. And obviously, currently James Bond is an upcoming movie, correct? But so it shows obviously up here. Why does it show up here? Well, because you can obviously dynamically select all the movies that are available. So you should be able to select the James Bond movie. Okay, so if we select the James Bond movie, what should happen is that it should not be upcoming anymore because it obviously has a screening, right? So we save it. It says success updated screening, which is good. And now we go in here and you can see it has disappeared, right? So how is that happening? This is obviously happening with our PHP. We can just show that. It's called check for upcoming. So it's a little bit of a difficult query, but we're updating essentially all the movies that we select where we found a screening for, and we set then the coming to 0 because they currently have the screening. That's what we're doing, and we're running that for the all movies and for the coming soon to make sure that in the coming soon section everything is just displayed as appropriate. So this is obviously really good. Yeah, so we can obviously then go to other days as well. So we have Wednesday, you can see it loads different data. We have Friday, it loads different data as well. It's always displaying the day up here. So then the screens, there's really not much we can change. Let's say we change them. Honestly, like how often are the seats going to change, right? I mean, they're really never gonna be changed, but we still wanted to provide the functionality obviously for it, and you can just go ahead and remove it if you wanted to. Then we have obviously Monday to Sunday shouldn't be deleted, so you can only adjust the prices. And maybe you remember that we had the €5 here earlier for our prices, and they can obviously be adjusted when afterwards. So let's say now everything gets more expensive through Corona, we go and save a price, we get success updated tickets, displays for 3 seconds, and you can see it has saved for €6. And obviously you can update all the prices for Coke accordingly, or remove them, Maltesers, M&Ms, popcorn, whatever you're interested in, you can go ahead and update. When admin, obviously you can only remove admins because I don't want to reset passwords. I think you might as well remove an admin and create a new one. It's just as good as altering a password. We could have obviously provided that, but yeah. And so we're saying it has to be at least 4 digits for the username, and you can see we want to edit, and you get input field username needs to contain 4 characters. So that's why that didn't work, and that's why it's not displaying here. So let's say we want to add Paul1234 with a password provided by Apple, surely. Go ahead and we get success added admin as expected. We go back into the admin, Paul is added. We go ahead and remove him. Are you sure you want to delete the selected admin? Of course, success, and remove the admin. The reason why we do it red is simply because you remove something, and I don't know, I think it looks nicer when this, even though it's a success message, when it's red and is in the recording color. So everything that is saved is or updated is in yellow, as you've seen here. Maybe, you know, we can do it again, is yellow, and everything that is added is in green. You can discuss if everything should be green, but we thought it makes sense. Here is the links that we have in here. Okay, you can see, you can click on the Instagram and it redirects you to the same link here. You can see that is the exact same link as here, and can obviously be adjusted in case you ever change the URL. And this is the max tickets that we talked about. So let's say we say that now, set that to 10. Okay, success updated item. And we want to go now ahead and book a ticket. Let's go into cinema.florianmoss. So there's our screening. We go into it. And now that should go to 10, of course, and obviously for both. Okay, so that works. So one thing that we can do that Paul was concerned about, that you can't overbook a screening, which is pretty simple to do. So the way we can do this is we can simply go into the screen. Okay, so here we're using screen 16, which is this one, and let's say we adjust that now to 5. Okay, so you can book a maximum of 5 tickets. So let's just save it in the database. So naturally you shouldn't be able to select more than 5 in here, right? So let's try that. So as you can see, why is there only 3 available? Well, because we booked already 2 in the last section. If you remember correctly, we have a booking. No, I don't want to pay. We have a booking where we already booked 2 tickets. So there's only 3 available now for the screening. Okay, so this is why you can only go up to 3 here. And that you can't update it. So you can go down here and have a third one here, but you can never have more than that. Okay, so this obviously demonstrates that we can't overbook a screening, for example. I hope it clarifies it. Because you simply can never go up here, so we don't have to check when in the actual insert for it. Yes, okay. So let's go back to 5 because we wanted that to be 5. Others I've shown. Let's look at the ticket sales. So the ticket sales are filtered by 7 days, 30 days, 90 days, and 365 days. So have a look at the dates. So for example, this one here is from January, 15th of January. So if we filter by 30 days, you can see it disappears as expected. If we filter by 7 days, we only have the latest 2 available. We filter by 90 days, we get most of the things available. That's obviously all the bookings that were made, and we don't want to display any sensitive information like email addresses. This is why we only have that information. So you can then filter by screening. So we know that the best screening that we had was Sunday, 6 p.m. From 1917, and we sold 87 tickets for that. 1917 in total sold 168 tickets. Sonic the Hedgehog sold 5 tickets in total. Jojo Rabbit sold 7. By day, we can see that Sunday is the most relevant day in the last 30 days. If we go by 7, of course, and we go by day again, you can see Tuesday is the only booking that we have so far. But let's filter by 90 days again, go by screen. So we can see in screen 16 is the most relevant one. And by start time, we can see that 6 p.m. is the most important start time. So this is really just some information about the sales report, how that is going. So we also have an admin login, which will be downloaded. So we can go in here and look at the admin login. So we want to open that with text edit. And you can see there's really all the logins, all the success messages that are in here, what time somebody has logged in. And you can see also when somebody has failed with an invalid username. We've demonstrated that, of course, in the last session already. So yeah, I think we have a lot of functionality. I hope we have covered all of our bases, and we've taken everything into consideration that you wanted us to do. Evan, in the next coming days, will upload a video about Selenium testing, and of course, Ademolu will upload a video about the work he has done in the next coming days as well. Thank you for listening, and that's it.